Princess Charlotte shines brightest in her new crown from her aunt Princess Anne. The moment Princess Charlotte stepped into the light, time seemed to pause. Cameras clicked, the crowd inhaled as one, and in that single, shimmering second, royal watchers around the world knew they were witnessing something unforgettable. Perched delicately atop her head was a crown that looked as though it carried centuries of history within its gleam, elegant, understated, and unmistakably meaningful. It was not just any crown. It was a piece inspired by, and closely associated with, her formidable aunt, Princess Anne. And with that single appearance, Princess Charlotte quietly signaled that the future of the British monarchy was arriving with confidence, grace, and a sparkle entirely her own. A hooked world. Why this moment matters. Royal history is full of grand entrances, dramatic gowns, and jewels that speak louder than words. Yet every so often, a moment emerges that feels different, intimate, symbolic, and deeply human. Princess Charlotte's appearance wearing a crown connected to Princess Anne felt exactly like that. It wasn't extravagant in the traditional sense, nor was it designed to overwhelm. Instead, it whispered legacy, continuity, and quiet strength. In a royal family often defined by its elders, this was a gentle but powerful reminder that the next generation is already learning how to carry the weight of tradition while shaping it in new ways. For many observers, this moment felt less like a fashion statement and more like a passing of the torch. Princess Anne, long admired for her unwavering dedication to duty and her no-nonsense approach to royal life, has always stood slightly apart from the glitter-heavy expectations of monarchy. That Princess Charlotte would be associated with her aunt through something as symbolic as a crown felt deliberate, thoughtful, and deeply resonant. Princess Charlotte, growing up royal, growing into herself. Born into one of the most scrutinized families in the world, Princess Charlotte Elizabeth Diana has been in the public eye since her earliest days. Yet unlike many royal children before her, Charlotte's upbringing has been carefully balanced between tradition and normalcy. Her parents, the Prince and Princess of Wales, have consistently emphasized grounded values, education, kindness, and a sense of responsibility over rigid formality. Over the years, royal watchers have noticed Charlotte's quiet confidence. Whether standing attentively on the Buckingham Palace balcony or offering a composed smile during major public events, she has displayed a natural poise well beyond her years. She is often described as self-assured, observant, and quietly authoritative, a description that, interestingly, mirrors how Princess Anne herself has long been perceived. The crown moment felt like a visual confirmation of what many already sensed. Princess Charlotte is not just a royal child growing up in the spotlight, she is a young royal learning how to embody duty with dignity. Princess Anne, the royal blueprint of strength. To understand why this crown matters so much, one must understand Princess Anne. The only daughter of Queen Elizabeth II, Anne carved out a unique role within the royal family. She was never one for unnecessary pomp or emotional displays. Instead, she built her reputation on relentless hard work, discipline, and a fierce sense of responsibility. For decades, Princess Anne has consistently ranked among the hardest-working royals, carrying out hundreds of engagements each year with little fanfare. She is admired not for glamour, but for grit. Not for headlines, but for service. In many ways, she represents the backbone of the monarchy, steady, reliable, and unshakable. That is why a crown associated with Princess Anne carries a different kind of power. It is not about dazzling diamonds or dramatic silhouettes. It is about purpose. It is about a legacy defined by service rather than spectacle. The crown itself, subtle, symbolic, and timeless. Unlike the towering crowns of coronations past, Princess Charlotte's crown was notable for its restraint. Delicate in design, it appeared to blend classic craftsmanship with a modern sensibility. The lines were clean, the stones carefully chosen, and the overall effect was one of quiet elegance rather than overt luxury. Royal jewelry experts and watchers alike quickly noted that the piece seemed to echo Princess Anne's own style preferences, practical, refined, and timeless. Rather than dominating Charlotte's look, the crown complemented her natural presence, allowing her personality to shine through. This balance is crucial. For a young royal, especially one still growing into her role, overwhelming regalia can feel premature. This crown, however, felt like an introduction rather than a declaration. It suggested potential rather than finality, growth rather than arrival. A passing of values, not just jewelry. In royal tradition, jewelry is never just decoration. Every piece tells a story, of alliances, milestones, and inheritance. In this case, the story felt particularly poignant. Princess Anne's influence on Princess Charlotte appears to go beyond family ties. It speaks to shared values, resilience, independence, and an understanding that royal life is rooted in service. By wearing a crown linked to her aunt, Princess Charlotte symbolically aligned herself with a model of royalty that prioritizes duty over drama. In a media age often hungry for controversy and spectacle, this alignment felt refreshingly grounded. Many royal commentators have suggested that this moment may have been carefully considered by the royal family. It sends a subtle message about the kind of royal Princess Charlotte may one day become: serious, committed, and quietly powerful. The public reaction, admiration and emotional connection. The public response to Princess Charlotte's appearance was immediate and heartfelt. Social media platforms buzzed with admiration, with many users noting how natural and composed she looked. Rather than focusing solely on the crown, people spoke about her posture, her calm expression, and the sense that she belonged exactly where she stood. For longtime admirers of Princess Anne, the moment carried an added emotional layer. Seeing her legacy reflected in the next generation felt deeply satisfying. It reinforced the idea that while faces may change, the core values of the monarchy can endure. Parents, in particular, seemed moved by the symbolism. Many commented on how meaningful it was to see a young girl presented not as a decorative figure, but as someone being gently prepared for responsibility and leadership. Charlotte and the modern monarchy. Princess Charlotte's moment also invites a broader conversation about the future of the monarchy. As the institution continues to adapt to modern expectations, the roles of younger royals are evolving. Authenticity, relatability, and purpose are increasingly valued over rigid formality. Charlotte represents a bridge between worlds. She is rooted in centuries-old tradition, yet growing up in a digital, global age. Her crown moment felt like a careful blending of these realities, a nod to history without being trapped by it. The influence of Princess Anne in this context is especially significant. Anne has long demonstrated that modern royalty does not require abandoning tradition, but rather refining it. By following this example, Princess Charlotte may help shape a monarchy that feels both relevant and respectful of its past. The quiet power of female legacy. One of the most striking aspects of this moment is its emphasis on female legacy. In royal history, male succession often dominates the narrative. Yet here, the spotlight shone on a connection between aunt and niece, a passing of wisdom, strength, and identity from one royal woman to another. Princess Anne has often been described as a trailblazer, particularly in her youth, when expectations for royal women were far more limited. Princess Charlotte is growing up in a different world, one where her position is secure and her potential widely acknowledged. The crown symbolized this progress, reminding observers how far royal women have come, and how much further they can go. Fashion is storytelling. While the crown itself captured attention, the overall presentation reinforced its message. Princess Charlotte's attire was elegant yet age-appropriate, allowing the crown to serve as the focal point without overshadowing her youth. This thoughtful styling reflected an understanding that royal fashion is a form of storytelling. Every choice, from fabric to silhouette, seemed designed to support the narrative of continuity and growth. It wasn't about transforming Charlotte into a miniature adult royal. It was about honoring her present while acknowledging her future. A moment that will be remembered. In the grand tapestry of royal history, not every moment involves a coronation or a wedding. Some of the most meaningful moments are quieter, more personal, and deeply symbolic. Princess Charlotte wearing a crown associated with Princess Anne will likely be remembered as one of those moments. It marked not just a visual milestone, but an emotional one, a glimpse into the monarchy's future shaped by lessons from its past. It reminded the world that royalty, at its best, is not about spectacle alone, but about continuity, character, and care. Looking ahead, what this means for Princess Charlotte. As Princess Charlotte continues to grow, every public appearance will inevitably be analyzed for clues about the royal she may become. Yet moments like this offer reassurance. Surrounded by strong role models and guided by thoughtful tradition, she appears well positioned to navigate her unique path. The crown from Princess Anne was not a declaration of destiny, but an invitation, a gentle introduction to the responsibilities and values that define royal life. It suggested trust, belief, and confidence in Charlotte's future. Conclusion. When legacy meets light. Princess Charlotte's shining moment was more than a fleeting headline. It was a carefully layered symbol of legacy, family, and the enduring power of example. By wearing a crown inspired by her aunt Princess Anne, she stood at the intersection of past and future, tradition and transformation. In that brief, luminous moment, the world didn't just see a young princess in a crown. It saw the quiet continuation of a royal story, one written not only in jewels and ceremonies, but in values passed down, generation by generation. And as Princess Charlotte stepped forward, shining brightest of all, it became clear that the future of the monarchy may be gentler, steadier, and stronger than ever before.